guys, it's Vix and we are here today, very excitingly, filming in Tucson, Arizona, where I am celebrating Thanksgiving at my lovely in-laws' house, and we're just going to have a quick late night conversation before Thanksgiving. I think I'd like to start by saying a huge welcome and hello to the influx of new lovelies that we have had join us these past couple of days. I've had a really great new lot of people join me because of a lovely recommendation in Jen's video about booktubers she loves. So thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to have all these new people become part of the family, and I just really hope that you enjoy everything that goes on here on this little corner of the internet. I'm probably whispering because your parents are sleeping, and I either whisper or scream. You know this about me. If you've seen at least a couple of my videos, you'll know that what we like to do around here is make a little drink while we talk, and I've tried to make it at least a little bit relevant to what I'm talking about today. This is going to be a colonial cocktail, which I hope is as yummy as it is alliterative, and I've entrusted my lovely husband to make it for me as always. The more you know, guys. This thing that we've concocted here is called a rattle skull, which apparently is an old-timey word for someone who wouldn't shut up, which is more appropriate than I think I even realised. So here we go. Let's try it. Huh. Colonials are weird. Usually, I swear, I talk about books. I love books. I never shut up about books, and this channel is usually a bookish haven where we get to discuss worlds that are apart from our own and recommend amazing things to each other, and I will be doing a bit of that later. But today I can't do that, and the reason why I can't do that is because I haven't really been reading, because the past couple of weeks have been the cherry on top of a really shitty year. Let's just say it, guys. We all know it's true. 2016 has been shit. Even me, who got married this year, and trust me, that was probably the happiest day of my life to date. Still, regardless of that, the white dress, everything, 2016. We've lost some heroes. We've lost David Bowie. We've lost Prince. We've lost Leonard Cohen. We've lost Alan Rickman. And on top of that, in Britain, we had Brexit. In America, we have Trump. A lot of us are hurting. Some people, maybe even some watching this, will be happy. They got what they wanted. They are hopeful. They are ready for something new. But for a lot of us, what we're feeling, in great part, is genuine grief. I'm one of those people. As a disabled woman whose heart and life and family lie across the oceans and continents, I feel scared and I feel sad. I think the problem for a lot of us, from the discussions that I've had with people around me, is that this represents a great shock in a lot of ways. A shock because we thought that our world was going in a certain direction, and it seems to have gone in such a starkly opposite one. I feel like I've lost something. What have I lost? I lost what I thought the world was, what I thought my present was, and what I thought my children's future might be, in terms of freedom, in terms of the personal liberties that I might have had, and my rights as a woman, my rights as a disabled person, my rights as a human being. That is all in question at the moment. things feel stateless and all over the place, and no one really knows what the hell is going on. And especially for minorities, that's really, really scary. This political climate represents not only a loss of ideals, of hopes, of dreams, but also for a lot of us, tangible personal freedom. And what happens when you lose something? You grieve that loss. And so I guess what I'm saying is that it's perfectly normal to go through all of the emotions, every single disgusting, gross, horrific roller coaster of emotions of a grieving person. And that's what some of us are doing right now. It can't be, we said. Could it change? We said. Someone's made a mistake, obviously. I'm going to wake up in the morning and this will all be gone, just the way it was yesterday. And I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, it's still there. Nothing's changed. So I tear my hair out, I speak too loud, I cry hot tears of anger. Some people take to Twitter, some people go out on the streets and shout, some people keep it in the four walls of their bedroom. We calm down, we take a breath, we let go slightly of the anger. Then come petitions, maybe if it gets 1 million signatures, maybe if so-and-so sees it, maybe we can recount. Maybe this doesn't have to happen. A referendum isn't legally binding after all, is it? And then, with myself, maybe it will be okay. Maybe we can get through this. Maybe life won't be so different after all. Maybe we'll all band together and make a new world out of this new normal. Maybe we'll secede from whatever country we're a part of and not have to deal with any of this crap that we didn't want. But soon after that, we watch the signatures roll in, 1 by 1, by 10, by 10, by 100, by 100, and we realise there will be no recount, that the referendum was promised to the people, that the president-elect was elected by an antiquated system that's from the 1800s, mind you, but still. The people have spoken, and so we sit back in bed, we close our computers, and maybe we cry. Maybe, you know what, we hold whoever's closest, our husbands, our wives, our girlfriends, our boyfriends, our partners, our teddy bears, and we just cry because we realize we've been living in this little tiny liberal social media echo chamber where we didn't realize that this could happen. We didn't realize that this could really be what people wanted. Yeah, it is. And it's going to happen. And we don't know how we're going to get through it. And things are going to get real fucking scary. Real fucking quick, apparently. Nothing we can do. Except wait. Maybe we can still take to Twitter. Maybe we can still take to the streets. Maybe we can still make our anger known. Because maybe anger is the emotion that's most valuable in times like these. Maybe the way to combat the world changing more quickly than we ever imagined it could, in ways that we maybe predicted but hoped wouldn't happen, is to be angry. For a lot of my life as a disabled woman, in fact, I would say from the moment I was sentient enough to know it, I have been fighting small and big injustices around me in my own personal microcosmic world. And one of my main propelling forces to do that was to prove people wrong, and out of anger that people were making assumptions about how my world should be and the world that I should build around myself. They said I wouldn't read. Well, here I am. I have a booktube channel. They said I wouldn't be able to walk. Well, I guess they're half right. The point is that the way that I get myself out of bed every morning has been sometimes out of anger. People find that weird because anger is usually seen as a really negative emotion, but maybe anger can be your propelling force too. Anger at injustice, anger at the fact that you don't want your children to grow up in a world where your rights are in question. Anger at the fact that your friends who are in minority groups have their rights put into question. Maybe that's what gets you out of bed. You can use it. If you're an artist, you draw your anger. If you're a singer, you sing it. If you make movies like I do, you make a movie out of it. If you make videos on YouTube, like so many of us do, maybe you can sit down and make a video too, because there are never too many voices. There are never too many people weighing in on this. There's a Buddha sutra that says you shouldn't fall asleep when there's a cobra in the cage. Now, apart from the fact that if you find yourself in a cage with a cobra, you should definitely not fall asleep, because that's going to be very dangerous. That is very metaphorically resonant to the place we find ourselves in now. Don't give up. Don't put your hands up. If that means outrage, don't let anyone tell you that outrage won't do anything, that it's not a useful emotion, that your voice alone won't make a difference, that you just have to accept the situation. Don't put up with that, because it's only our voices as a multitude that will make a difference. And if even one of us who has something valuable to say, which I'm sure every single one of you bothering to watch this does, stays quiet, then something's lost. Something's lost again. And I think we've lost enough. In my case, I make videos, I make movies, I write, I read. I read so much. Right now, I've had it up to here. It's hard for me. I can't read. I can't really make videos. I can't make a movie. I'm just getting to the point, sitting in front of the camera with you guys now, where I can do that again. It's been the longest 2 weeks ever, and in fact, a very long few months too. But the point is, if you're there already, then let's meet here together in this space where we can create again, where we feel like we can make some kind of minute difference in some capacity. And if you're not there yet, if you're still at the point where you're going through those stages we talked about at the beginning, I'll wait for you. I'll be here. I'll be ready to listen to those fears that might even be greater than mine. I'm sure there are so many of you that are so much more scared than I will be or have been. I'm ready to listen to you without judgment, without anger, without, I don't know what, without something. I'm ready to be there. It doesn't matter if we know each other, if we don't. We all have a part to play in this. So where do we go from here? I'm going to leave a lot of links in the description. I'm going to leave links to tangible things you can do if you're at that stage, whether you're in America, whether you're in Europe, wherever you may find yourself in the world. A lot of voices I respect have already weighed into this, and I'm going to let them do the talking. I'm going to leave links to help that you might be able to get if you're feeling particularly fearful for your own safety right now, or particularly depressed and upset and helpless about what has happened. I've got your back, and so do all these people down in the description. In the meantime, what I can do is tell you some ways that I've been taking care of myself recently, and maybe you might like to enjoy them too. This is much more on-brand fixed content and not so horrifically depressing and politically charged. It's really gross. It tastes like the bad version of NyQuil. Whilst I've not been able to read, I found music really helpful because I can just sort of put my headphones on and forget the world exists for a little while still attempting to channel some of my crazy emotions through the songs that I choose. So my first recommendation is a long-time favourite band who hail from Australia. They are called the Cat Empire, and they have just released a new album called Rising with the Sun. There's a lot of amazing music on this. I will link the details below, but I highly recommend a listen. It's I think if I describe it, it will probably put a lot of people off, but I swear to God, you should just try it because it's so good. But it's basically Australian ska, which sounds really weird, but yeah, they just remind me of being 16 years old and really, really happy, and they have brought me much joy in the past couple of weeks. Another thing I've been listening to, which I was a little scared to listen to given its relevance to the current situation, but I have been playing the complete soundtrack to Hamilton at least once a day and singing it very, very loudly and taking solace in Lin-Manuel Miranda's beautiful way of crafting words, of creating poetry through rap. I just lift my hands up to Lin-Manuel Miranda for always making me feel better. If you have been living under a rock and haven't heard the Hamilton soundtrack yet, you should absolutely listen to it. It's a great history lesson about America's forefathers and a bit of King George too, of Britain that is. And it's just great music and really stands up to the situation we find ourselves in today. The soundtrack's available everywhere, so if you're still waiting for the fateful day where you've managed to get tickets like me, you might be able to crack a smile listening to that in the meantime. Another thing that I've been doing just to take a break from my head, from social media, from the echo chambers, from the news, from everything, is watching television. And one of the programs that I've recently started watching again as a kind of rewatch is The West Wing, which again, kind of like Hamilton, I was scared to watch because to me the Bartlett administration is utopian. If you haven't seen The West Wing, it's about the American White House, and it's written by Aaron Sorkin, who is one of my favourite ever writers. It's got a whole spate of great actors. It's just a really, really great show, and it's been providing me a lot of comfort recently. It's kind of a great space to forget for the length of an episode what the heck is going on around us. So yeah, The West Wing. I'm sure you'll find a quote that is appropriate to how you're feeling. I highly recommend. Another one that's coming soon, which thank goodness, because I've been excited for about a year since it was announced, is Gilmore Girls. For those of you who haven't seen Gilmore Girls, you have 7 glorious seasons of it on Netflix to see you through until November 25th, when Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life comes out, which are 4 feature-length episodes of Gilmore Girls, which span across a whole year and are named after seasons. And I'm sure if you have watched Gilmore Girls, you understand why it's been the perfect escapism for how I've currently been feeling, because there is no better place than Stars Hollow. It is just so glorious, so funny, so touching, and just beautiful in every way. So Gilmore Girls, definitely. And then if you're in England or if you're in America and have the right ways around it, you should also be watching MasterChef The Professionals on BBC iPlayer, because it's a highlight of every year. And like we said, 2016 needs all the highlights it can get. So if you want to watch Marcus Waring being a badass and a lot of other people being badasses in the kitchen, then please turn on MasterChef and let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you guys have been feeling, even if it's not all rosy. I would love to have a chat in the comments and understand more about what's been providing you some comfort recently. Please, this is a space where you can tell me anything that you might be going through at the moment. Please use the comments and be kind to each other. We could all do with as much kindness as possible these days. I'm so sorry for a lot of things. I'm sorry that I looked a bit skittish during this video. It was hard to make. I had a lot to say and very little at the same time, and that's a confusing feeling. I thank you guys so much for bearing with me through this unusual video, and I promise you books are back on the scene very, very soon. I'm already starting to slowly read again. I'm reading Station 11 right now, and it is absolutely glorious. I'm like 2 years late. It talks about a Shakespeare troupe in after a flu pandemic when the world has ended, which may be appropriate. I don't know. Let's all create a Shakespeare troupe and love each other. Happy early Thanksgiving to those who celebrate it. I'm so grateful for you all, even if Thanksgiving isn't a thing wherever you live. I love you all. Thank you for everything, and I'll see you for more books and another drink really soon. Bye.
How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot,